Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. JLR investigates. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. We're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers, some latest developments. In this case, it's been over 2 months, folks. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We always do this intro, right? 15 years old with autism, Hendersonville, Tennessee, Sumner County, was reported missing during the early morning hours of February 26, 2024. Reported missing by his mom, Katie Proudfoot, and stepdad, Christopher Andrew Proudfoot. Katie's Proudfoot's middle name is Lynn. Katie Lynn Proudfoot. There has been some new developments. He still hasn't been found. Yesterday, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, I'm a little bit behind because on Sebastian reporting, because I am boots on the ground in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, covering the Micah Miller case. Well, we keep our eyes on Sebastian every single day. So do you. I see a lot of people in the comments with the hearts for Sebastian, the green hearts. Sebastian's favorite color was green. Now let's talk about three things. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office has released a statement saying the boy in North Carolina is not Sebastian. A lot of people when that statement came out, they were still questioning, how do you know it's not Sebastian? How do you know it's not Sebastian? How do you know it's not Sebastian? Well, I can tell you something. I'm going to read the statement, and I'm also going to show you the woman who it's her son, another woman. A woman has come out and said that that is her son. Yes, a woman has come out. A woman has come out and made a Facebook post herself. And this woman has said, her name is Bonnie Moretz Dials. So this is the woman. Ends up being the woman. Now, I can tell you, I'm not gonna show what she posted. She posted this photo and she said, please, it's my son. Basically, she said, these pics are my son, Josiah. Josiah, not the missing boy, Sebastian Rogers. And that is me in the pink shirt. Please remove all posts and pics of my son and me off Facebook, please. I pray you do find your son safely. She did post pictures of her boy on there, so I'm showing the pic. I'm showing the post that she made. But I can tell you, I'm not going to show pictures of him. But I could tell you, man, it looks just like Sebastian. Looks just like Sebastian. So I wanted to give you that update. It's not Sebastian. Authorities have put out a statement also. And then we're going to talk about the Chris phone call. He called into a show, Clueminati. But this was a bizarre phone call that we're going to share. But the Sumner County Sheriff's Office has put out a statement. Also, Seth went on Nancy Grace last night. We would like to provide an important update regarding the recent photographs circulated in connection with the search for Sebastian Rogers. After coordinated efforts with law enforcement agencies in North Carolina, we have determined that the child in the photograph is not Sebastian Rogers. We understand the gravity of the situation and concerns it has raised. Our collaborative efforts with law enforcement continue unabated as we remain committed to finding Sebastian. We appreciate your cooperation and support. So let's put that to bed. This alone, a lot of people didn't trust. Some people are like, well, how do you know it's not Sebastian? Get the DNA, and people are just saying a lot of things in the groups. But now we know it's not Sebastian. So, mystery woman, we put hearts over her face. No, not connected to Seth. Not any searchers, not Seth's relatives, not Chris Proudfoot's sister, not any of it. And the boy, not Sebastian. So, back to square one, folks. Back to square one. And square one to me is Katie is the key to this case. Chris Proudfoot made a bizarre, strange. I already titled another phone call bizarre, so I had to change the title of this video, strange. Strange phone call. He called in a Clueminati. This is like a prank phone call. He actually called in there and talked for like 20 minutes as another person's voice. It was just strange. Out of all the things Chris Proudfoot could be doing, he makes a phone call into Clueminati's podcast. I guess that's a YouTuber. I met her in person. She's a nice person. But he calls, and I titled the video Strange Phone Call, and I'm getting it together right here. Have you guys heard that phone call? Did you guys listen to the phone call? We're about to play the phone call. I guess maybe they didn't even know he was calling in, but it's just really, really strange. He's using another voice, and he's doing like a prank. Out of all the things he could be doing out there to find Sebastian, he's calling into a podcast. Now, eventually, at the end of the phone call, he starts talking, right? But we're not going to play it. We're just going to play this. We'll play this part, a little bit of it, so you can understand this strange phone call. But it reminds me a little bit about Don and Candace Wells pulling pranks while Summer was missing. It's like you're pulling a prank, or you're pretending you're somebody else. It doesn't seem like the priorities are right. Doesn't seem like his priorities are right here. Let's get this out here.
Maybe. The mic is hot.
I heard y'all giving away them T-shirts. What's that boy's name? Sebastian.
Yes. Well, not me. Duchess, yeah.
Well, how you gonna get one of them shirts out? I mean, what do you gotta do?
You go to her channel, and on Sunday, she's having a show, and she will give you a code, and then you can contact the maker of the shirt.
Oh, is there any way you can do it a little easier than that? I mean, I ain't a smart feller. I mean, I can know how to call a number, but I don't know how to do fancy stuff y'all were talking about doing. I don't understand that. I mean,
Well,
I like mustard biscuits myself, but I don't think everybody else likes that either. But hey,
I'm sorry, did you say mustard and biscuits?
yeah, mustard biscuits like mustard and French fries. Y'all don't eat that over?
I don't put mustard on my biscuits. No, maybe some honey.
Oh, you got to try it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's something else. I mean, just mustard goes good on everything. Tater salad, tater tot, taters. I mean, it's good. You missed out.
I assume you've seen the movie Sling Blade.
No, not at all. What's that movie called? You said it called Sling Blade?
Mm-hmm.
Sling Blade. I know what a tiger blade is, but I don't know what a sling blade is.
Well, I tell you, I can do you one easy. I can text you and maybe get you a T-shirt out that way.
Well, I ain't got one of them one of their fancy phones that everybody be punching away on. I'm calling you on the landline. We actually have rubber down here. Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I live out in the sticks. I mean, you're talking about Sling Blade, and I call it Kaiser Blade. I think it's a totally different thing, so I'm not sure.
You sound a lot like the guy from the movie. That's kind of crazy. I wish you would have seen the movie.
No, I ain't even got a television. I mean, I don't know much about them things. I think they them devils anyway, so, I just do lucky to get a phone. I got a radio.
Well, you don't have a television?
No. No.
All right. Old school, in the sticks.
Yeah, I have to go across the street over there down the holler, and just they got one of them what do you call it, computers. They got one of them things, and I get to listen to this thing, and this how I get to hear you show.
Oh, well, thank God for their computer.
Do you ride a bicycle?
Well, they got the internet. They got that magic box where you go in there and you get to see a bunch of things or whatever I don't know.
Could you say it ain't got no gas in it?
Ain't got no gas in it.
That was great.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I don't breaking any of that stuff. I don't play with any of that stuff.
He said,
It's Franklin said, is this truth, not feelings?
Is this truth, not feelings? The chat is asking if that's your name when you chat. Truth, not feelings.
If I got feelings, what are you talking about?
I don't mean you don't have feelings. I'm asking if. Never mind. When you chat, you have a name. I just wondered if this was truth, not feelings. But
Aren't we chat now? Ain't that what I can tell what chat deal when people put the talk?
well, yeah, it is.
What's that there chat that you talking about?
On your keyboard, you said that people pound away. That's the kind of chatting I'm talking about when you're typing something.
I told you I ain't got one of them fancy boxes there. It's them computers. That's my neighbor. They got that. That's where I'm at right now to hear the show.
You went to your neighbor's house at, well, I don't know what time it is where you are, but here it's like 12 o'clock in the morning.
No, I mean, y'all sit there and drink moonshine either?
Well, on a good day, yeah.
Yeah, you should drink that shit every day. Make you feel better. Fix everything you got.
It's really good for a sore throat.
No. It's good for everything.
Good for everything. Okay, I can get with that. Well, do you like the show? I'm assuming so, since you're at the neighbors, or is this your first time watching?
No, I like the show. I just there's a little boy missing. It kind of it's sad story. It's sad them kids go missing.
Agreed.
You know, the worst part is, you know, I've heard that story where people talking about the parents and stuff. It's real bad. I don't know.
Agreed.
They got no evidence. What do you call evidence on that boy yet?
No, they don't have any evidence on him yet.
Why everybody saying that the parent done it then?
Oh, because the internet world has to have a villain. Somebody to be mad at, I guess.
Well, they want a villain. They got one to call the government. They need to. That's the villain right there. Mm-hmm.
I will not argue that. At all. Hear that?
I really want one in third though. I would get one in third.
I promise I will. Well, if you can learn to work a text, I can text your phone and send you a shirt.
I have my neighbor there. They do that.
So
yeah, there you go.
I just wanted to give you guys I'm not going to play the whole thing. He talks like this for like 20 something minutes, as acting like he thinks he's a comedian and he's showing different voices or stuff. The point is he calls into a show and that's what he does is plays a prank as some man, old country guy, with an accent and talking about, do they got evidence on those parents and stuff like that. Just weird stuff. His son is missing. There's no time for pranks and games when it comes to your child being missing. Now, he then goes and talks to them for an hour afterward, whatever like that. He wanted to show the comedy side in him. He wanted to show the playful side. He said, I can make all types of voices. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's no time for games and jokes. Though he does say in a conversation down the line that he says that Katie and Seth know what happened to Sebastian. He actually said that. Priorities, weirdness. Yes, stepson. Let's talk about Seth Rogers a minute, because Seth Rogers talked to Nancy Grace. Apparently, Seth Rogers now passed his polygraph. But remember the talks and the screenshots that we shared before about possibly the polygraph coming back inconclusive? Well, it looks like he passed, according to Nancy Grace. So he went on Nancy Grace, and I'm going to show you. He's on with Tony Mathis. A lot of people have a lot of questions about Tony Mathis. But we're gonna play.
When I put Sebastian's father, Seth, on the hot seat on national TV and asked him, would he be willing to take a polygraph? He said yes. He did take a polygraph. Straight back out to Seth Rogers. Joining us is Sebastian's father. And now joining us is a renowned polygrapher, Kendall Schule, former head of the entire FBI polygraph program in D.C., former special agent with the FBI in D.C. He is at Kendall Investigations. Also joining us, Tony Mathis, who is helping Seth Rogers as he walks this very, very rocky path. First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is a yes/no, Kendall Schule. Did Seth Rogers pass his polygraph?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word, because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in. Let's get to the truth of that polygraph. Seth, what happened?
I showed up early for the polygraph. Mr. Kendall contacted me and told me that he'd be there well before the time that we had stated. So I showed up and I sat in the chair, let him attach those things to me, and took the polygraph.
Have you ever had a polygraph before?
No, ma'am.
And what kind of questions did the polygrapher Kendall Schule ask you?
If I had ever wanted to harm anybody, if I ever wanted to hurt my son, if I had ever hurt my son, if I'd ever had anything to do with his disappearance.
Question. You said they hooked you up. What do you mean by that, Seth Rogers?
They put things on my hands. They wrapped cords around me. They had a blood pressure cuff on me to measure my blood pressure, measure my heart rate, my breathing rate, things like that.
How long did it take?
It took a minute.
It took 60 seconds. Could you be precise or more precise? How long do you think it took?
We were there for 3 hours, 4 hours.
That's about right. It's not easy. Okay, sit tight, Seth. And again, thank you for being with us. Out to Kendall Schule, as I told you, former head of the entire FBI polygraph program in D.C. Kendall, thank you. When we put out the word that Seth Rogers would take a polygraph, we contacted you because of your reputation. You quickly agreed, and I thank you for that. Again, this was not free. He was paid to do the polygraph. He owes nothing to anybody, and therefore was not swayed one way or the other. He had never met Seth Rogers before in his life. Mr. Schule, I've looked very carefully at your polygraph report right here. Number one, you start off by saying it was conducted using a comparison question format that meets U.S. government standards. What is a comparison question format? What is that?
It's a format that's well accepted by the polygraph community, particularly the American Polygraph Association. There are certain formats that we can use that are more acceptable, that we know are more reliable, and this was one of those. Certainly a test format that I would want to use to make sure we're doing everything right to get the correct results. And this is again a format of polygraph that is widely accepted as a standard in the FBI world and in the polygraph world in general.
Oh, they put a commercial. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh, it actually ended. That's it. That's it. That was a clip. But Seth said that he passed his polygraph. No, he didn't mention what he mentioned when he's told YouTubers that he fell asleep during his polygraph. He didn't mention that on Auntie Grace. Remember, it was the talk that Seth fell asleep. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But regardless of pass, fail on anyone, because we also heard that Chris Proudfoot passed the polygraph too. Polygraphs are not admissible. Some people say it's junk science. Some people think it's it works. Back to square one, folks. What's going to happen here? North Carolina, dead end. Though we do appreciate law enforcement for looking into the matter and giving us, the public, a statement about that. What now? What now? Will the families work together? Doubtful in my mind. Heard Chris is kind of saying what Tony Mathis is doing is kind of baby steps. He's saying steps. I think Chris wants Seth off YouTube. But remember, folks, what I just played you of Chris, that strange phone call, Chris is calling YouTube too. So I don't see how Chris can tell Seth to stay off YouTube when Chris is going on YouTube himself. Chris seems like now he's starting to, it's similar to Don and Candace Wells. They go on channels that are favored towards him, or like what I've seen with Summer Wells' case over time with the Summer Wells case is Don and Candace Wells would gravitate towards certain YouTube creators that would coddle them and shield them and enable them and also share their cash apps. And Chris seems like he's gravitating towards certain people now. So it remains to be seen if he continues to talk to certain people that speak favorable to him or in a friendly way. But Chris can't tell Seth to get off YouTube while Chris is on YouTube himself. So I don't know what's going to happen with that aspect. Another thing I want to report is I'm being told that Seth is going back to work. I think he was supposed to go back to work today. As some of you might or might not know, he's a correctional officer with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. Davidson County would be Nashville, Tennessee. Supposed to be going back to work. He does have this guy now from Oklahoma named Tony Mathis, a crane operator, as a spokesperson. We might be seeing less and less of Seth online. But I just want to really get to, I want to hear them all personally. I prefer all of them to talk. Hopefully Katie comes out. But I don't think so. I think Chris has said my job is to be Katie's protector as her husband. But where do we go at from here? What happens at this point? Like searches? Are we just waiting for Sumner County to do something? I don't know what can be done at this point. I mean, I do believe Sebastian's out there, but now that photo gave me hope that Sebastian was alive. But now that they said it wasn't, and the lady came out and showed basically who she is, and if you scroll on her Facebook, you see the boy, and the boy looks just like Sebastian. So, I mean, even Seth was saying that they thought it was Sebastian. Seth's PIs at the time thought it was Sebastian. Most of us thought it was Sebastian. I even thought it was Sebastian, not Sebastian. But now it makes me go back to, one, Sumner County looking at that landfill. Two, I'm a little bit suspect about this mattress or this bed set, on why Chris received a bed set from someone right after Sebastian went missing. The mattress allegations about Sebastian sleeping in the garage as punishment makes me wonder a little bit about that. And, Sumner County and authorities searching around the home, along the woods and everything like that, makes me feel like Sebastian is somewhere close to that home. I always said in between Texas. Now I'm going back to that theory now that this has been debunked. Somewhere between Texas Roadhouse and the Proudfoot home. A couple miles away. But we're going to keep Sebastian out there. We're going to stay on point on what is out there and what's not. But I wanted to share those three things. Chris is not a comedian. I don't know why he's calling up YouTube channels, making jokes and pretending he's different voices and playing different characters. I don't know if that's going to try to win him brownie points or he's trying to humanize himself to say I'm a likable guy or whatever like that. It was bizarre. It's not funny. It's not a game. His son is missing. His stepson. I Am JLR Investigates. Keep Sebastian's name out there. Wanted to come jump on I Am Boots on the Ground, covering the Micah Miller case in the Carolinas. And anything else breaks on the Sebastian Rogers case, you'll hear it here. But that seems like that's the update. Other than that, there's really nothing else going on. You guys be safe. If you have any credible information, contact 1-800-TBI for Sebastian. Let me show you his photo again to remind the viewers, because occasionally new people join the chat and they might not be aware of this case. And we want to keep people aware of this case. We want to keep Sebastian's photo out there. It's right here. 15 years old with autism. We are Sebastian's army. Sebastian strong. You see the green hearts. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Have a good day, everyone. Be safe. Bye now.